The internet connects billions of people, but sometimes it shows us things we were never meant to see. Hidden among the memes and videos are moments that shocked the world, real events that spread fast, left people shaken, and still haunt the web today. In this video, we'll go through 5 of the most disturbing moments in internet history. These are stories you won't forget. It was February 2022 in China. A man known online as Beanbag Adventure, or simply Beanbag, was becoming popular in the urban exploration scene. He posted videos on Douyin, China's version of TikTok, showing himself entering abandoned buildings like old schools, hospitals, and bunkers. His content stood out for how bold and risky it was. Then one day he uploaded something completely different and far more disturbing. The video showed Beanbag entering a remote, decaying building surrounded by overgrown trees. The windows were shattered, and the roof had collapsed in some places. He wore a gas mask, saying the air smelled terrible. Subtitles appeared in Mandarin and English, though it wasn't clear if he translated them himself. He walked down into what looked like a basement. The camera shook slightly as he moved. You could hear him breathing through the mask. Eventually, he turned a corner and aimed the camera at what looked like a large tank or pool filled with dark liquid. At first, it was hard to see what was in it, but viewers soon noticed floating shapes, some small, some appearing to have faces. They looked like human remains, possibly infants and young children, partially preserved in the liquid. Beanbag quickly added subtitles saying they were props. Many believed he said this to avoid censorship, but the bodies didn't look like props. Some had white patches on the skin, others were missing flesh. One shot zoomed in on a damaged face. Beanbag gagged and turned the camera away. Then he ran out of the building. That video alone shocked people. But 11 months later, Beanbag returned to the site. On December 26, 2022, he uploaded a second video. This time, he included a timestamp, December 26, 2022, at 11:26, to prove he was really there. He explored new areas and revealed that the pool was inside an old bomb shelter. He no longer called the remains props. He showed what looked like a child's cap on the floor, and the same pool now covered by a blue tarp. Through a tear in it, the bodies were still visible, further decayed. One shot focused on a skull with missing features. Beanbag said the liquid wasn't water but formalin, a chemical used to preserve human tissue. At one point he remarked, "I'm surprised I can stand the smell. Might be because I have COVID right now." He continued through the building. In one room he found medical bottles, some filled with dark liquid. There were bags of bones, jars with unclear contents. One even appeared to hold a fetus. He picked up what looked like a partial human jaw. On the walls, dark liquid stains ran down. He also found child-sized masks, a woman's high heel in a suitcase, and more bones. The internet reacted fast. Reddit users broke down each frame. YouTube creators like Nick Crowley made videos about the discovery. Some viewers pointed out that several of the remains had open chest areas, suggesting they may have been used in illegal organ removal. This theory is connected to past reports from 2006, when China admitted to taking organs from deceased individuals without proper consent. Others tried to debunk the videos, saying the lack of insects and the stiff-looking bodies meant they could be fake. But high-definition versions showed clear details: skin texture, bone structure, and signs of real decay that would be hard to recreate. In January 2023, Beanbag's account disappeared. Days later, it came back, but the disturbing videos were gone. He posted a few more regular exploration clips, then stopped altogether in February 2023. Some viewers believed he had uncovered an abandoned facility once used for storing human specimens, possibly linked to a medical school. Others mentioned the controversial Body Worlds exhibition, which displayed preserved human remains and had previously sourced bodies from China. One similar case occurred in 2010, when 21 infant remains were found under a bridge in Shandong. They had come from a medical school, where workers had mishandled them to avoid costs. Beanbag hasn't been seen online since. His identity is still unknown, and the location of the building remains a mystery. But whatever he found in that basement, it was real enough to make him sick, scared, and silent. It was August 2012. Somewhere in the Indian Ocean between Somalia and Seychelles. The waters were calm, the skies clear, and the Taiwanese-flagged tuna fishing boat Ping Shin 101 was out at sea. For the dozens of crew members aboard, it seemed like just another day. But what happened that day would later become one of the most unsettling maritime events ever recorded. 2 years later, in 2014, a taxi driver in Suva, Fiji, turned in a phone left behind by a passenger. On that phone was a 10-minute video, footage showing several unarmed men floating on debris in open water. They weren't fighting or resisting. resisting. They were trying to survive. A voice in Mandarin shouted, "In the front, to the left, what are you doing?" Then another command followed. "Fire! Fire! Fire!" Gunfire erupted from the deck of the fishing vessel. Bullets rained into the sea, hitting the men. One of them, with his arms raised, was hit in the back of the head. He went limp and floated face down. No rescue attempt was made. No one helped. Instead, crew members were seen laughing, posing for selfies, and acting as though nothing had happened. One man wore a blue shirt with the words "Hang 10" as he smiled for the camera. The footage was eventually uploaded to YouTube by an unknown source. People were horrified. The video featured Mandarin, Thai, and Vietnamese, and one ship bore markings traced to Taiwan. Fiji's police couldn't confirm if the footage showed Fijian victims or if it had even taken place in their waters, but it was clear something terrible had happened. The president of the Fiji Tuna Boat Owners Association suggested the men might have been pirates trying to hijack a vessel, but that theory had no solid backing. Because the ocean lacks strict jurisdiction, no one took immediate responsibility. The case floated in legal limbo. David Hammond, a maritime legal expert and founder of Human Rights at Sea, analyzed the footage. He said the men showed no signs of aggression and were clearly unarmed. He emphasized that even if they had been suspected of wrongdoing, what happened wasn't lawful. One person off camera casually stated, "I've shot 5, which only added to the unease. Under international law, suspected attackers should be detained, not executed. But here, someone had filmed the entire thing like it was routine. The Ping Shin 101 was later identified by a Norwegian firm, Trig Mat Tracking. They matched details from the footage with global maritime data and located some of the former crew through social media. 2 Filipino deckhands, Aldrin and Maximo, confirmed they were aboard during the incident. Maximo was even in the video, seen smiling after the shootings. They said a radio warning had come in that a nearby ship was under threat. Soon after, a smaller boat approached, but its passengers weren't armed. They were holding fishing tools. The men on the smaller boat shouted, "No Somali! No pirates!" But the shooting still happened. The ship's captain, Wang Feng Yu, known by his crew as Captain Hoodlum, had a dragon tattoo and a reputation for violence. He gave the order. Aldrin said something similar had happened just a week earlier. The ship's owner, Li Chaoping, disappeared after 2018. Investigators couldn't locate him. The company that operated Ping Shin 101 shut down, leaving no trace. On July 7, 2014, less than 2 years after the incident, the ship sank. A distress signal was sent, claiming mechanical failure. One crew member said something exploded. The ship was gone, along with possible evidence. The case stayed cold until August 2020. A ship called the Indian Star docked in Kaohsiung, Taiwan. Its captain was Wang Feng Yu. He was arrested and later charged. In 2021, he was sentenced to 26 years, later reduced to 13. The true number of victims is unknown. Witnesses believe it could be 10 to 15. Their bodies were never found. No one knows who they were or where they came from. But one thing is clear, they were unarmed, and they never got a chance to explain themselves. And the only reason we even know their story is because someone left a phone in a taxi. It was mid-2021 when a strange Instagram account called Truth_Sticks_11 began gaining attention. It claimed to be run by a 12-year-old boy and his anonymous mother. At first, the page seemed normal. It showed photos of a young blonde boy in a school uniform, smiling and holding books. But as more pictures were posted, people started to notice something was off. The boy's face became heavily edited. His lips looked too large and red. His skin was pale, and his tongue was often sticking out. His eyes were bright blue and his hair looked almost yellow. Over time, the edits were so extreme that the child no longer looked real. Then the post became more unsettling. Some images showed the boy's face edited onto adult bodies dressed in revealing clothing. Other pictures featured different children in unnatural and uncomfortable poses. In many of them, the same small, high-heeled boots appeared, a repeated and concerning detail. Another Instagram page soon showed up, girl.chloe12. This one claimed to be run by a 13-year-old girl. The content followed a similar pattern, heavily altered photos of children with exaggerated features and unnatural expressions. The same small boots appeared in these posts as well. But the most troubling account was Smart Schoolboy 9. This account focused on videos, and it clearly wasn't a child. The person behind it was an adult man. He wore a school uniform, a wig, red makeup on his lips, and white face paint. He carried a child's backpack, wore the same high-heeled boots, and spoke in a high-pitched voice. His behavior in the videos was disturbing. He filmed himself walking through neighborhoods, riding buses, and pretending he was heading home from school. In one video, he even appeared to follow a young boy through a park. By this point, people realized all 3 accounts were likely created by the same person. The images, themes, and captions were too similar to ignore. Some accounts even interacted with each other, pretending to be friends. He also created other characters. One named Stephanie was supposed to be a 13-year-old poet. The man dressed up as her, complete with a school outfit, and posted photos in costume. Many viewers felt that this was more than just unusual online role play. YouTuber Nick Crowley made a video exploring Smart Schoolboy 9, which went viral and raised serious concerns. Online users, including Reddit investigators, began looking deeper. They spotted familiar streets and signs in the videos, many located in Streatham, South London. Some captions mentioned a name, David, and others referenced Doncaster. People started to believe his real name could be David London or David Alter. The content became even more worrying. He was seen walking through parks, near schools, and sometimes filming children in public. Some of the kids in these videos couldn't be identified online, making people worry they had been filmed without permission. Animator David Firth, known for Salad Fingers, said he remembered this man from Doncaster in the 1990s, still dressed in a school uniform and acting like a child. If true, this behavior may have gone on for over 30 years. Neighbors from his old area reported strange images taped to his windows. Some said police had been called before, though no official reports confirmed this. In 2024, kids recorded a video outside what they said was his house in South London. A hand was seen reaching from behind the door, adding more fuel to the mystery. Eventually, a UK group called Safer Schools issued a warning about online accounts pretending to be children. They said this could pose a danger and confirmed that schools were being warned. Police were notified, but the Metropolitan Police said no crimes had occurred, so they wouldn't investigate. Even with the evidence, this man hasn't been charged. His reasons remain unclear. Some think childhood trauma might explain his behavior. Others believe he's stuck in a mindset he's never left. No one has come forward as a direct victim, but the disturbing nature of his content continues to worry people, and many are still asking how this has been allowed to go on. It was May 6, 2021 in Seattle, Washington. A TikTok user named Ishaya Brown, who went by 627 online, was inside her apartment when she heard loud screaming outside. It was the middle of the day. The screams were panicked and non-stop. She looked outside, pulled out her phone, and started recording. What she filmed became one of the most unsettling viral videos of that year. Down on the street, a woman was limping barefoot across the pavement. Her face looked pale, almost gray. Her hair had been shaved in patches, leaving long strands hanging down. She looked hurt. She was bleeding. In one hand, she clutched what looked like a bloodied cloth. She wasn't speaking. She was crying out loudly, in long, painful wails that echoed between the buildings. The video only lasted a few seconds, but it spread quickly. Online, people began calling her the Seattle Zombie Woman. The video went viral almost instantly. Many believed it had to be fake, maybe part of a movie or some kind of prank, but something about it felt too real. Her injuries, her voice, her appearance, it didn't look staged. TikTok eventually removed the video, but by then it had already been saved and shared on Reddit, X, and YouTube. Soon after, more videos appeared. Other people had also recorded the woman from different angles. In one, she's still limping through the street, unable to speak clearly. She tries to form words, but only moans come out. Her mouth opens like she's calling for help, but nothing understandable is heard. Eventually, police arrived. Later, body cam footage from that day confirmed it wasn't a prank or a film shoot. The woman was real. Her condition was being taken seriously. Ishaya later posted an update. She said the woman had been taken to a hospital and was given care, but she didn't know anything beyond that. That update only raised more questions. If she went to the hospital, why wasn't there any news coverage? Why didn't the police issue a report? There were no statements, no follow-ups, just silence. No local news covered what happened. Even though the video reached millions, there was no official explanation. That silence left a lot of room for speculation. Online theories began to spread. Some believed she had experienced a severe mental health episode. Others thought it might be drug-related. A few said it was something even bigger, maybe a secret experiment or cover-up. On Reddit, some called her a lab rat, and then came the more extreme theories. Claims of a virus or even something supernatural. None of it had proof, but the lack of real answers only added to the mystery. YouTubers started analyzing every detail. Some compared the TikTok clip to the police footage, trying to track where she came from. Others tried to clean up the audio to understand what she was trying to say. The item in her hand was examined closely. Was it a cloth, a towel, or something else? Many believed she had been through something traumatic. Still, no name, no confirmation, no updates. For almost a year, the story faded. Just another internet mystery. Then, in March 2022, things changed. A YouTuber named Rebecca MS had been investigating the case. After months of searching, she found a social media page belonging to a woman named Kimberly Kasai. On it were photos that matched the woman from the video. Same shaved head, same pale look, even the same expression. One photo had a caption, "I'm not your lab rat." Rebecca shared this and explained that Kimberly had posted several statements online, criticizing vaccines and government control. According to Rebecca, the whole event had been a protest. Kimberly had staged everything, the look, the screaming, the bloody cloth, as a dramatic way to express her beliefs. Despite this discovery, the story still didn't get mainstream coverage. There were no official statements, just Rebecca's video and Kimberly's own posts. If it was just a protest, why did police respond the way they did? Why was there no media coverage? And why didn't Kimberly ever speak publicly about it? The video was real. Her distress was real. But behind it all was a message, one that left behind more questions than answers. It was April 9, 2015, in Fairdale, Illinois. Clem Schultz, an 85-year-old retired man, was at home with his wife, Jerry. That day, weather forecasts warned about possible tornadoes, but like many people in the Midwest, Clem didn't think one would actually strike. He and Jerry had lived in their home for many years. The house, over a century old, had been through plenty of storms. That evening, the couple was watching the news and preparing in case the power went out. Jerry stayed in the kitchen, while Clem went upstairs to get some lanterns. From the bedroom window, Clem saw something terrifying: a large, dark tornado heading straight toward them. It was wider and moving faster than anything he had seen before. Clem, who liked filming things, picked up his phone and started recording. He hoped the tornado would pass, but it didn't. What he captured would later become one of the most well-known tornado videos ever taken. From inside his home, Clem filmed the twister getting closer. The sound of the wind got louder, and then the screen went black. The tornado had hit the house directly. The storm was rated an F4 with winds close to 200 miles per hour. Fairdale was hit head-on. Clem was thrown from the second floor when the house collapsed. A chimney fell on him, and he landed wrapped in a bedsheet surrounded by rubble. His back was broken, but he was alive. Clem managed to pull himself out of the debris. A neighbor found him and helped him sit on a broken beam. Clem asked about Jerry. The neighbor paused before telling him not to look down. Jerry had been in the kitchen and didn't make it out. Another resident, Jacqueline Closa, also lost her life, and 11 others were injured. The tornado had touched down around 6:30 p.m. near Franklin Grove. It traveled over 30 miles through Lee, Ogle, DeKalb, and Boone counties before lifting at 7:20 p.m. Fairdale suffered the most damage. Clem's phone and the video were later found. At first, he wasn't sure he wanted to see it. Eventually, he did, after his daughter showed it to his doctor. Later, Clem gave the footage to a meteorology student named Luke Odell, who had arrived in Fairdale shortly after the tornado. Luke was studying for his PhD and also chased storms. When he met Clem, he noticed how disoriented he looked and saw the injuries on his head. Luke wasn't trained in rescue work, but he stayed and helped. The video Clem shot has been used in tornado research ever since. Scientists have studied it to learn more about how tornadoes behave. Clem said he's glad it can be useful to others. After the storm, a photo of Clem and Jerry from the 1980s was found 35 miles away. The tornado had scattered their belongings across the state. For a while, Clem believed their dog, Missy, had also been lost. But a few days later, she was found alive. She now stays close to Clem in his new home in Genoa and still chases raccoons like before. "I'll be watching TV and want to say something to her," Clem said about Jerry. "But she's not there. Missy is." The tornado caused over $19 million in damages. It destroyed 13 homes and damaged 71 more. Emergency crews, volunteers, and organizations like the Red Cross came to help. More than 675 volunteers showed up, and nearby towns donated supplies and money. Experts said the tornado was almost strong enough to be classified as an EF5. Some homes were ripped off their foundations. A concrete silo was destroyed. A car was thrown a mile away. Many homes had only been nailed down, not bolted, making them more vulnerable. Clem still lives with his back injury. When people ask about filming tornadoes, he has one piece of advice: don't. In 2016, Clem returned to Fairdale for a memorial event. The tornado lasted just 41 minutes, but in that short time, it tore through a town and left deep scars. His video is still online. It's shaky, loud, and dark, but it shows exactly what he saw from inside the house before it all came down. And what he captured is something that's hard to forget.